Hello everybody and welcome, and today we are gonna do paint. Yup, today we're gonna be painting stuff. Now, no, we're not that fun. Today we're gonna be using MS Paint to study one of the maps called Alpis Graia. This is probably going to be one of the first maps you're gonna be playing at, and we're gonna be commentating from the right side just because I thought it would be nice. So in the Alpis Graia, there are a few important points. The first one is this big strategic point right in the middle. In fact, if you look at it, it looks like a smiley face, and it is important because it gives you vision on the half of the map, and the other half you already have, so it gives you quite a bit of vision on majority of the enemy forces, which is important because there are a lot of long grass that the enemy can hide in, especially over here, etc. So with that in mind, usually the forces that are deployed over here, their first task is to move to the strategic point to capture this tower. Outside of that strategic point, there is a mini strategic point to the north where the barbarian forces most often go. If you're playing as light infantry, you might want to head up over there because that's where you will be most effective and will be able to assist the forces fighting in the middle, either by coming out of the woods and surrounding the enemy, or simply by escorting archers so they can rain fire onto the enemy forces in the middle. Alternatively, you can also just walk straight through the forest and ambush the enemy on the side and the back. You've got a lot of options. So let's take a look slightly towards the south. Towards the south, we have an impassable... Was it impassable? No, it is passable pool of water, but it will make you very visible and it will slow you down. So as soon as you're in the middle, you're gonna be stranded against the forces that are coming from the front and will be forced to fight. Most usually under not very favorable conditions. So in addition, if you deploy to the south, you've got these very nice hills going towards you, and the same thing applies for the both sides. The map is fairly symmetrical. As such, even though there are some minor differences, in general, it's very similar. It's the same tactics, just slightly different angles and stuff. But if you deploy to the south, you've got these wide hills. I gotta admit, I'm not too experienced with deployment to the south. But towards the south, you can deploy in this long grass, which can allow you to ambush the enemy. I've seen very nice ambushes and fights taking place right here. Also, archers, because of this elevation, are able to operate very nicely, and cavalry is able to scout very quickly and see what is protecting the base, or even attempt to ninja cap the base. As soon as you determine what is happening in the middle, you either retreat back to these artillery hills, or as I like to call them, the defense hills. So over there you make your stand, you try to divide the enemy, or if the enemy is coming in together, you try to ambush them from the sides. There you will have advantage. The same thing goes for the other side, but to a different extent, because they've got these hills over here, and this kind of divider is a little to the south. So the movements are slightly different, but it's the same idea. Any forces that are going from the middle are gonna get attacked from these two sides, as well as the forces that were in the bushes. So they will be under big attack, as well as the north. You can be attacked from over here, but in comparison to south, which is a little too far, this is the northern way, is the go-to way to reach the base. If you are certain that the middle is clear, then of course go ahead and move over there. But if you're not certain, if the enemy still has got like 700 men around, chances are they are preparing an ambush over here, so you might want to avoid that. This will force the enemy into fighting in the base, and they will be trying to play catch up with you. So on the other side, it's the exact same thing. You are going to be visible when you're defending these northern hills, as well as the southern areas where you will be fighting. However, here the enemy will be forced to divide their forces. As such, you can put up a much better fight, and if you're fighting against like a force that you're not sure if they're going to be divided, or if they simply ignore you, you can take the fight to the last stand, which is within the base. You can get some pretty decent amount of capture points over there, but there it will be on equal grounds, and you will be fighting with all of your forces. So that's the best part about defending, which is you will be doing your last stand while your opponent will be coming in with their offensive forces while their defense is still at the base. If they have moved all of their forces to attack, however, that's when things might get a little tricky. However, there you just need to use your smarts and not give enemy an inch and put them in a situation where they won't be favored. That is the general idea. I hope this helps you understand the map Alpis Graia. If you have any further suggestions, let me know. And yes, I like MS Paint. Screw you.